All right, we are seeing a little bounce over here, tiny little bounce. Bitcoin was at 19,500 around the lows. Now it's 19,928. And that was after Powell's 8-minute speech. 8-minute speech that when Powell made the speech, I think we'll all agree that we all thought the market was going to go up. And in fact, the market did go up. But then when people started to analyze the speech, it was mayhem. It was absolute mayhem. Carnage on the markets. In fact, this is what happened on the NASDAQ. And today we're going to talk about whether we think that Bitcoin can actually hold these levels, these 19,800 levels, and they're critical levels. We'll talk about why they're such critical levels. And then we have a massive exposed here on the channel, one of the biggest tokens out there with one of the biggest communities. We're going to expose the token. In fact, we're not the ones who are going to expose the token, but we're going to show you what has been exposed about the token. And then I've got some ETH merge news. So it's going to be a big show. It's going to be lots of fun. Let's do this, guys. What do you want, Carl? What do you want?
Where are you coming in the BYBIT competition?
I don't want to talk about that.
We have to baptize you in bear blood.
Oh
So
my
you have to
goodness.
wear this,
Okay.
You have to wear this shirt.
But you see the shirt's got green on it, and this is a green screen, so it'll be very funny, but we can try it.
It's fine. You can put that one on. Luckily for you, we have two. So if that one doesn't work, you can always keep this one.
I'll wear this one. I'll wear the bear shirt.
Where are you in the BYBIT competition?
I'm not talking about the BYBIT competition today. We're not talking about the BYBIT competition today. I don't want to talk about it. It's a terrible scenario. And we'll talk about that in a second. Wow, this shirt is so bad. This shirt's really bad. Welcome back, guys. What a weekend. But nice to see you all here, coming to get crypto love and crypto wisdom. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Be part of the 95% of people viewing the show that make you the most loyal community in the world that have actually subscribed to the channel. And then also, if you're here, just smash the like button. Help us get out there. And again, we are shadow banned again. You guys keep doing a great job of getting us unshadow banned, but then we get shadow banned again. We haven't worked out why we keep getting shadow banned, but help us by giving us a good comment in the comment section. Let YouTube know that this is great content. All right, there's so much to talk about today, except the BYBIT competition. We're not going to talk about the BYBIT competition. I got wrecked, and I got wrecked. It's not over. I'm going to actually, before the end of the stream, I'm going to put in something. I'm going to put in a trade to try and rescue myself and talk to the community about what that trade's going to be. Talk to the community about.
You said you had no stop loss.
I had no stop loss. You see, you know what the problem is, Carl? I'm trying to be a investor in a trading competition. So I'm not a trader. I've never said I'm a trader. But I'm playing you guys at your competition, right? And I'm trying to be an investor buying quality, and that's not working. So I've got to be a trader in a trader's market. I can't come to a trading competition and then be an investor, because that doesn't work.
So what's one valuable lesson you've learned so far?
One valuable lesson I've learned? Actually, a very good question. What I've learned is that short-term trading is not for me. That's the most valuable lesson. I don't enjoy it.
The answer is to use a stop loss. That should be your answer.
No, but it's okay. Maybe. All right. Carl is the champ. Carl is the absolute legend. He is a legend. I mean, all right. Let's get into it. Let's get into what happened here. So someone says don't trade. I'm trading for the competition. I'm not a trader, but generally I don't trade. I'm trading for the competition. I'm just for fun. And you know what? After this competition, I think we need to do it again, but this time I'm going to do it my way, not listen to Sheldon, and I'm going to try a whole lot of new tactics. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this competition and you want a new one. Remember, this one ends, I think, sometime at end of this week, or what? How many days are left?
We have 6 days.
6 days left, so it ends at the end of this week. Let me know if we should do another one. We're thinking of doing another one, and we're actually thinking of challenging another community, so challenging the MM crypto community. And that's because, I don't know, our guys are amazing traders. Like, if you look at some of the traders in the competition, let me show you some of these traders. Our guys are actually really good traders. There's a whole cohort of really good traders in our community. So if you look at these guys over here, this Darwin Nunez headbutt, 600% up. This DAV guy, he was leading the whole competition. He's 512% up. I'm not even going to show you my rankings. Thank God it's not giving you the rankings, because if it did, I'd be very embarrassed. I'm wrecked, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to come back. All right, enough about the trading competition. Don't know if you guys watched this interview that I did with Sheldino Tentino yesterday. If you didn't, probably worth watching. Yeah, it's this one here. It's called This Is Us. So it's just me and Sheldon having fun, but probably if you want to see another side of us, not this every day bring your crypto love and crypto wisdom side of it, go and listen to it. It'll give you an idea of what we are like as human beings. And I think it's like, it was fun. It was also good to be on the other side of the interview for a change. All right, let's look at what happened. So it started off with an 8-minute speech that Powell made on Friday. And when we were listening to the speech, everything seemed to be okay. In fact, if you remember, when we listened to the speech, markets were still doing very well. In fact, let's look over here. This is the NASDAQ, and this is the NASDAQ on the 4-hour chart. And while Powell was doing his speech, you can see that we had, let's get into the hour chart, just make it a little bit more. This is the end of Powell's speech. This little wick over here is the end of Powell's speech. The market did very, very well. But then as the market interpreted what Powell said, and as they did it was after speech, I started to interpret what Powell said, and this is what happened. So this is exactly what happened over here, and we started getting these red candles all the way down to the end. It was one of the most brutal days in stock market history in the US. Okay, so the NASDAQ was down by about 4% or 550 or 570 points. It was absolutely brutal. So the question is, what is it that Powell said, and what shocked the market so much? What was it that the markets heard after the speech, and what got them so worried? So this is the part that the market got fixated on after the speech.
Reducing inflation is likely to require a sustained period of below-trend growth. Moreover, there will very likely be some softening of labor market conditions. While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain.
So he used the word pain twice, and he said there would be some more pain coming up, but this pain would be less than the pain of more inflation. And with those words, the markets digested those words, and that's what got us into this position over here. And the NASDAQ dropping down to this position over here was one thing, but what it did was it brought Bitcoin down to pretty critical levels. And let me show you why these are such critical levels. In fact, if you look at this chart over here, what you'll see is that we are now back at 19,800, or just over 19,800. The problem is that this level over here is the 2017 high. And if we break through this support over here, then the next level brings us down to this level over here, which is 14,000, or just under 14,000, about 13,900. And if we break that level, then we are going down to around the $12,700, $12,800 level. And that's happening in September. So generally, I wouldn't be worried about this. But the fact that we're going into such a big crypto event in September, being the merge, this does get you pretty worried. And what you want is you want Bitcoin to hold onto this 20,000 or 19,800 level. And the problem is that it keeps testing that 19,800 level, and it feels like the support on the 19,800 level is pretty flimsy. The one good thing for us, though, is that we are seeing a slight recovery in the NASDAQ. And as a result, we may see a slight recovery in Bitcoin. Remember, we need this level to hold. Otherwise, we're going down to this 13,952 level. And if we break down below that, then we're going down to what Kyle called the inevitable level, which was, what did you call it? 12K isn't inevitable. 12K is inevitable.
Date with destiny.
The date with destiny. Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that. But while we're talking about that, Bitcoin is now over 20,000. So we're back in business. Bitcoin above 20,000. So the other problem chart that we've got is when Powell started talking, we've got this Dixie chart. And this Dixie chart is absolutely going parabolic. So you can see we had the highest daily close on the Dixie that we've had in 20 years. And this dollar index chart is actually going parabolic, which means that the dollar is getting stronger. Now, we have had some relief here. It's back at 108.7. But generally, if you look at this dollar chart is going absolutely parabolic. And parabolic, and if this was an altcoin or if this was an investment, what you would say is that you can't really invest against this chart, right? You can't really invest against a parabolic chart. But this time it's a Dixie. And if you look at this, a high dollar is very bad for stock markets and very bad for crypto. And this chart is going parabolic. And the problem with this chart is that if it continues to go parabolic, I want to show you something. If we go into the weekly chart and this chart continues to go parabolic, I want to take you back all the way to 2001. So here's 2001 over here, somewhere over here. There we go. This is when the dot-com bubble crashed. And what you can see is that in this era over here, the Dixie went to about 120. So that was the high of 120, which kind of means that between here and 120, there's not really any kind of resistance. So the next stop for the Dixie is to 120. And the problem is that if we get to 120 and we go above that, then we're going into price discovery mode. Then we're going into new uncharted territory, if you look at this chart. So this Dixie chart is one to really be worrying about. Now, there is one small chance, Carl won't agree with me on this, but there is one small glimmer of hope if you can say that this becomes a double top and not a higher high, and we start breaking down from here. That could be one glimmer of hope. But otherwise, this Dixie chart is looking terrible and one that we definitely need to keep our eyes on. All right. After Powell's speech, the market realized that Powell wasn't playing anymore, that the Fed wasn't going to be playing anymore, no more games. And they are resolute and they are fixated with getting inflation down to 2%. And as soon as that, and they're not going to stop they're not going to be happy with inflation where it is now at 8.5%. They're not going to be happy with a slight drop in PCE, which we had on Friday. They want inflation down, and they're going to be resolute in getting inflation down. And as a result of that, the market started to forecast a 75 basis point rate hike in September, which is something that I said a while back. I said that even though the odds were around 50-50, I said that what we're going to get is we're going to get a 75 basis point rate hike in September. And now it looks like we are going to get that 75 basis point rate hike in September. The Fed is going to do whatever it needs to do to get inflation down to 2%, or so they say. And the thing is that they have got the license to do that. And the reason why they got the license to do it is because no matter what anyone says, the economy is actually in good shape. You had earnings about over the last couple of weeks. The earnings, most companies actually hit their earnings. You've got employment. Employment is at high levels. The employment levels are much higher than they've been in many, many, many years. And what this tweet over here says, which I think is actually quite profound, says, remember, as long as Fed hikes and or pauses, economy is okay. Markets move up. But when the Fed lowers rate, then watch out. Now, the reason why the Fed can continue tightening is because the economy is healthy. And therefore, markets should potentially be going up or can potentially be going up. And this guy takes data from around 2004 when the Fed started hiking rates. And you can see that the Fed hiked rates all along while the market was increasing. And only when the market started decreasing did the Fed loosen rates. So when markets crash, usually is when the Fed starts to loosen. This time, markets are coming down and the Fed is tightening. So maybe we'll actually buck the trend here. Maybe the economy is healthy, and that actually gives the Fed the license to actually continue to hike. The other thing is that we've got midterms around the corner. So remember that the midterm elections around the corner, and the Democrats are very, very, very scared to lose any seats that they've got. So they don't want to lose the House. You don't want to lose the Congress. You don't want to lose the House. So you've got Powell saying, "Look, more pain is coming, and we're going to crash demand." And you got Biden who's trying to stimulate the economy. He just gave student debt relief, which is effectively like putting more money into the economy. He's coming up with new stimulus packages. He's trying to boost demand. So you've got Powell on the one hand going, look, let's reduce inflation. We're not going to stop until reduce inflation. And you've got Biden trying to stimulate the economy, which is kind of crazy. I don't know, kind of crazy. Feels weird. All right. So, I mean, this guy says that September is the cruelest month for markets. And I mean, historically, no one really knows why, but it actually, since 1897, September has been a really, really cruel month for stock markets. You can see that the average return is actually September is the worst. It is the worst month for stock markets. And now in crypto, we're back at extreme fear. We're back at 24. We were at 28 over the weekend. We're now back at 24, and people are getting really, really, really scared. And that's quite worrying because you got people really scared. You've got people talking about the price going down to 12,000. And that is when we've got probably the biggest crypto event of all time. Well, not the biggest crypto event in all time. I think when Satoshi mined the first Bitcoin block, that was the most significant crypto event in the world. But this is probably the second biggest crypto event in the world ever of all time. And that is, we've got the ETH merge. And the ETH merge is now 15 days away. Now, to me, if there's one thing that could take us down to 12,000, I don't think we're going to go to 12,000, but if there is one thing that I think could take us down to 12,000, it's a failed ETH merge. That, to me, is the only thing that could happen that could take us down to 12,000. Other than that, I think we're safe. And I think that the ETH merge is actually going to go pretty fine. I don't think that there's anything to worry about. It has been tested and tested and tested, but we have to talk about both sides of the coin. There is a risk that the ETH merge won't go fine. There is a risk that there's going to be a lot of nerves into the ETH merge. And for us, that's a good thing. Because when people are nervous, we continue to buy. When prices go down, for us, that's a good thing. And I'll explain to you why it's a good thing. I saw this tweet over here. So this guy called Venture Founder says, few understand how good 20,000 Bitcoin is for long-term Bitcoin investors. If you really believe in this space, if you really have conviction, and you're not just here to make a quick buck, then the cheaper you can buy coins at for the longest period of time, the better it is for you, not the worse it is for you. So for me, this is a great opportunity and probably a very, very, very unique opportunity to buy Bitcoin at $20,000 and maybe even under. And the equivalent for me of buying Bitcoin at $20,000 or even under is the same as buying Bitcoin for $2,000 and $3,000 and maybe $4,000 and $5,000 in the previous market. And the truth is, I did buy a lot of Bitcoin at between $3,000 and $6,000 in the previous run. And now I don't actually even remember whether I paid $3,000, $3,500, $4,000, $5,000. I don't really even remember. And that's the blessing here. Bitcoin at 20,000 is cheaper than someone who's been DCAing for 4 years, for 5 years, and for 6 years. If someone has been DCAing for 6 years, their average price right now would be 16,563. So if you get into the market today, or if you're buying Bitcoin today, you are buying at the same price that someone who's been dollar cost averaging for the last 5 years. Now, where do you get an opportunity to buy tokens in something that you believe in at the same price that somebody who has been dollar cost averaging for the last 5 years? And that's where the opportunity here lies. We're here in a unique opportunity. So even though people are talking about a bad September, and people are talking about doom and gloom, if you really have conviction in this asset class, if you really believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana, then getting Bitcoin at $20,000 at the same price that people who have been DCAing for the last 5 years is an absolute unique opportunity. And the same thing with Ethereum and the same thing with Solana. And CZ actually reiterated this. He said, Bitcoin first got to 20,000 5 years ago. Okay, so that was this chart over here. And that is when Bitcoin first hit 20,000. I was there. I remember the hype that happened there. Then we got this higher low and then everything collapsed. Now, a lot has happened in those 5 years. A lot has happened in terms of institutional investment, in terms of acceptance, in terms of distribution. A lot has happened in the last 5 years. And if you're buying Bitcoin at 20,000 now, today's price does not erase all the development adoption in the past 5 years. Price is just a reflection of mass psychology and not progress. And what you'll remember is that prices always go from overbought to oversold, overbought to oversold. But if you look at the trajectory of, and I want to show this to you. So prices always go from overbought over here to oversold over here to overbought to overbought to back to oversold. But if you take a line and you draw a line from here to where it probably should be, so if you take a line and draw a line from here and you say, okay, let's just draw a straight line up like that, even though the progress has probably been exponential, you kind of know that Bitcoin has to be coming up there. And that's exactly what CZ says. He says, today's price does not erase all the development adoption in the last 5 years. Price is just a reflection of the mass psychology, not the progress. Bitcoin will be 5 years later at a much different price. And that's what we're going to be, looking at. So there will be FUD. For us, FUD is good. Because that gives us an opportunity to buy. I've got a whole lot of things that I'm buying. I'm starting to buy today. Maybe we'll even do some buying on the show. But I'm not waiting for the bottom, because if this proverbial bottom doesn't come, in 5 years, it's not going to matter. I don't remember whether I bought my tokens here. I don't remember whether I bought my tokens here at 4,000, or whether I bought them here at 4,300, or whether I bought them here at 5,000 or even 6,000. I don't remember. Maybe I would have been able to buy a bit more, maybe not. But I've been buying ever since I got in somewhere around, well, my chart doesn't even go that far. And I just keep dollar cost averaging. I don't even remember the price that I paid. Anyway, there will be more. There will be FUD. There will be more FUD. And one bit of FUD that is FUD, but I did tweet about this yesterday, is the Mt. Gox FUD. You're going to hear a lot of Mt. Gox FUD. The truth is that the Mt. Gox coins are nowhere near hitting the market yet. And that is from credible sources that are creditors to Mt. Gox, who have a claim against Mt. Gox. And at this stage, the liquidator hasn't even asked for repayment addresses. No correspondence has been sent regarding repayment addresses. No correspondence has been sent around a potential distribution. So the liquidator has asked the court if they could proceed with some kind of dividend or payment for early creditors, or creditors that want to take an early bite. But those coins are not about to hit the market. And I think Eric Wall also confirmed that. He said Mt. Gox is not distributing any coins this week or next week or the week after that. Source, I'm a Mt. Gox creditor. The repayment system is not even live yet. And he says, go and block Altcoin Hub for spreading this misinfo. I didn't say that. He said that. All right. So that is where we are in the markets. But now I think let's talk about the big story, the one that we're all here for. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer a high Bitcoin price or a low Bitcoin price? Now, I'm being serious. Do you prefer a higher Bitcoin price now and you'll make a little bit more money, or a low Bitcoin price for longer so that you can buy those tokens that you want to buy at super cheap prices? And we'll look at some super cheap prices in a couple of seconds. Let me just drink. Carl, this shirt looks so bad, bro.
No, it suits you. It's good.
Should I wear it? To have a choice. I don't have a choice.
Your wife is going to be very
Great shirt. My bear shirt. I have to wear it. All right, let's talk about the big story. And the big story, I must say, before we report on the story, we did not leak the story. We are merely going on the story as it is leaked by somebody else. But if the story is what it is, and there are certain facts that check out here, this is not good. It's not good for crypto. It's not good for the token exposed. And it is one of the biggest story exposés that I've seen since I got into crypto. And it feels like it is very, very, very true and substantiated. Having said that, though, remember, this is not our story. We're just merely pointing out a story that was leaked by someone else. And who is that someone else? It's a site called CryptoLeaks. And what this site alleges is that there is a legal firm, a highly litigious legal firm called Roche Friedman, which is partnered up, or which works with Avalanche and uses the US court system to get dirt on its competitors. Yeah, that's exactly what they allege. So let's go through the allegations and let's talk about this for a sec. And I must say, there is video footage here. The video footage is extremely, extremely, extremely convincing. I'm not going to say it's true because I haven't validated it. I've just seen what everyone else has seen. But Roche Friedman is a law firm that widely sues people in crypto, currently running at least 25 class action lawsuits, including one against Binance, the crypto exchange, Solana Labs, Definity Foundation. Now, it's led by this guy called Carl Roche and employs more than 30 lawyers. Okay, now, these guys, it starts off by saying that these guys moved into the same office where Avax Labs, which is the company that is led by Emin Gunserer, who is the founder of Avalanche. And what this video alleges is that this legal firm moved into the same co-working space. Listen to this.
So I started my law firm move into the co-working space August 1, 2019. the same day Avalanche launches on the same coworkers. Goon and I knew each other because of academic writing. And so Goon, immediately the first thing, Emin Goon Sire is the CEO of Avalanche.
So Emin is the founder of Ava Labs. They move into the same co-working space together, and they enter into an agreement where this legal firm becomes the first legal firm to get, or the first shareholder in Ava Labs and has tokens in Avax. And they do this deal before anybody invests. I think they say even in recent. Listen to this.
Kevin Seknicki's the COO. Emin Goon Sire is the CEO. There are 5 employees in a co-working spot right next to us. Goon, we did a deal where I agreed to provide legal services in exchange for a certain percentage of the token supply. That was September 2019. And
so you worked originally with the Avalanche at an early stage.
The earliest. I was the first. Besides Andreessen Horowitz, I was the first person on their cap table.
So it was the first.
Kevin Seknicki.
He was the first person on the cap table. Now the question is that how many tokens did these guys get? Because if they just got a few tokens for doing a little bit of legal work, that's one thing. But in this case, it seems like they got a whole lot of tokens, much more than normal tokens that people would have got for doing legal work. Now, listen to what he says here.
Everything they do, you make sure that you unlock some tokens, you unlock some part of that, and because they're controlling all that.
Correct.
And helping them. You helping them control that. And they understand that if it's not handled by you, there will be regulation issues.
Correct.
Which is, problematic. And they know that they need to keep you happy.
Correct. I am happy.
And they're actually happy.
Yes.
But again, you help them out in many situations.
Yeah.
And you solve things to competitors and others.
Yeah.
And they should also be fair with you.
They have been fair with me.
More than what they probably be.
Potentially. Here's my thing. At the end of the day, I got a third of what Kevin got.
So he got a third of the tokens that one of the co-founders got, which seems a little high if you want to be talking about providing normal legal fees. So if that's the case, what kind of legal fees are these guys doing? Well, this is where it gets a little bit juicy. The type of legal fees, the type of legal games that this alleges that these guys are actually playing is something very different. What it alleges is that these guys sue other blockchains for 2 reasons. The first reason why they sue other blockchains is to get intel about the other blockchains. Now, if you're familiar with the process in the United States, there's a process called discovery. And in the process called discovery, if you sue someone and you get into the process of discovery, that party is required to submit confidential information as requested by the lawyers. And once they have that confidential information, well, then they've got a whole lot of trade secrets about you and a whole lot of dirt about you. And if you do this to enough blockchains, so if you go sue Solana and Definity, which is exactly what this alleges, then all of a sudden you've got dirt because you've got emails and you've got a whole lot of correspondence on every single one of your competitor blockchains, which is crazy. At the same time, you also Oh, here we go. I'm back. Okay, cool. I hope that this works. I don't know why it didn't work. I hope that this works. All right. So, no, I think, am I back? Let me know in the comments if I'm back. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. I'm back. All right. So as I mentioned, there's this process called discovery, and if you use this process correctly, what you do is you get confidential information about your competitors, and that's exactly what they did. At the same time, what they do is they attract attention from the litigators, from the regulators around certain blockchains by creating these class action lawsuits, and that's exactly what this thing does. What this thing accuses them of. He says this guy Kyle, he prides himself on the fact that he sues half the companies in this space. And what he does that, he says in the US, when you sue an individual company, you can demand access to their confidential accounts, commercial data, email and social communications, and more using a special legal process known as discovery. He also boasts that he is one of the smartest and most well-connected people in the space. And the reason why he's one of the smartest and most well-connected people in the space is because he has all this confidential information around all blockchains. He has dirt on every single one of these blockchains. Now, this is what's going on. So obviously, Emin has come out and he's defended this. And he said, these allegations are absolutely crazy. So I want to read you Emin's tweet. He says, how could anyone believe something so ridiculous as the conspiracy theory nonsense of CryptoLeaks? We would never engage in the unlawful, unethical, and just plain wrong behavior claimed in these self-serving videos and inflammatory article. Our tech and team speak for themselves. Now, that is a denial, but I don't know if that's a big enough or a strong enough denial for me, given the severity of the allegations. And also, if you look at this, this is like video material. This is real video material. It is confirmed that unless this is a deep fake, that guy is Kyle from the law firm. And he's caught in multiple other scenarios, including one where he says that the reason why Ava Labs managed to stay away from all of this is because it's not Ava Labs that sue people. He forms these frivolous class action lawsuits. In fact, let me play you this. It's again him, but this time he's in a different scenario. Listen to this, 49 seconds.
Most plaintiffs at law firms, they don't like litigating. They want to just file a lawsuit. Settle. File a lawsuit. You say to a defendant, I don't fucking care about something. I do like it. I'm just a crazy motherfucker and I have resources and I will take you to the end. And taking you to the end it won't be a nuisance settlement. It will be, I've got a piece of paper that says, I own your company. Now, that is power. And that is what I think is a tool that has not been unlocked by very many.
Okay, so he says it's a tool that's not been unlocked by very many. And he says, yeah, he admits it. Yeah, let's listen to this. He admits it.
I was fortunate in that I did the Ava Labs deal, and so I have the ability to say, look, it's not about the money anymore for me. It's about taking you guys to trial in the sport of it. And
it's Ava Labs.
Is it Ava Labs? And he says, no, it's not Ava Labs.
So the comparison against one of their competitors?
No, they have me do that on behalf of the client. Their name was Evan.
You see, their name was never there. He sues on behalf of a class action lawsuit. Things like, remember that lawsuit that asked if that said that Solana was a security? I think, I'm not sure. I think that they were behind that as well. So this news was broken on Saturday. We had it on Saturday. We were going to present it to you today. And then this morning, CEC did a tweet, which eventually he actually deleted it. But I mean, the tweet's there. The internet never forgets. And you can see that this firm gets paid in hundreds of thousands of Avalanche tokens. Now, that's another thing that I checked. Is this firm actually on the cap table? And it seems that this firm actually is on the cap table. And I'll show you. This is effectively how they split the tokens that they get. So this is the law firm, and this is the excerpt from the allegedly the excerpt from the agreement, and it shows how the partners inside this firm actually get their tokens that they get from Avax Labs. And they've got a significant part of Avax Labs. They've got 1/3 of what a founder or co-founder has in Avax Labs. So this is absolutely huge. It's a big conspiracy. It's a big allegation, and if true, I think it spells really bad news for Avalanche. Let's actually see how Avalanche is doing price-wise on the day. Now you see the whole market is actually recovering slightly. Got the Nasdaq up 153 points. You've got Bitcoin up over 20,000, so it's 20,100. You've got Ethereum just under 14,093. 1,493. Let's quickly get a price on Avax and see how Avax is doing in light of all these allegations. And there we go. Okay, so it's up, or it's flat on the day. So just flat on the day. There were a couple of other things that happened. I want to show you. Avax was down 10% yesterday. That's true. I saw that yesterday. Okay. Just want to see. Okay, there was something else that I wanted to show you. So the first thing is CZ is now no longer following Emin, and which is this is after the tweet this morning. This law firm is also arguing amongst itself. So there's one partner in this law firm, Jason Cyrilnik, who was alleging that he was unanimously voted out of the firm. He's now suing the firm. He doesn't want to leave the firm. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what's going on, and it's not looking good for Avax. It's not looking good for crypto. And it's certainly not looking good for Avax. Now, we reached out to Emin Gun to ask him to come on our show, and I'm not sure if we've actually heard back from him. Let's just quickly ask if Fred is on. Ask Fred if we've heard back from Emin, and if we can get Emin, we'll get Emin back on the show. I mean, it would be a pity, because if you look at Avax and you look at all their charts, specifically two charts. If you look at this chart, it shows you the addresses, the average number of addresses, or the unique addresses on Avalanche. And you can see it is plateauing slightly, but it is in quite an aggressive growth phase. Also, if you look here, so Emin said no. And then you look at the daily transactions chart.
No, nothing from him yet.
Okay, nothing from Emin yet. So that's the average transaction chart on Avax. So it's not doing too badly from a tech point of view and from an adoption point of view. If you look at the monthly transaction count, I mean, that's quite huge. That's quite big. So it would be a pity if this was the practices they're adopting. And remember, these are not our allegations. They came from CryptoLeaks. We can't vouch or attest to their accuracy, but I think it was worth bringing it to you guys so that you guys can see it and you can decide for yourselves. Is there anything else in the story? Have we missed anything in the story? Because I feel like, I mean, there was a tweet somewhere that said, this could either be a deep fake, which I don't believe it's a deep fake. Carl Roche lying? I don't think it's Carl Roche lying. I don't think so. The guy doesn't feel like he's lying. He's, this is a guy who you can see he wants to make a lot of money. In fact, I read this tweet over here where he said something like, here we go. Roche's share was worth $70 million and Friedman's share was worth $80 million, but that was not enough for Roche and Friedman, who once remarked that his goal was to be super rich, not just rich. It feels to me like they're becoming arrogant and greedy, and we saw what happened to Do Kwon and to anyone else like him who became arrogant and greedy in crypto. They all end up with the same fate. So let's really hope that this doesn't end badly. And, after Avax, after Luna, the last thing we want is more bad actors in the space. And this really smells of bad acting. It really does. And again, these are just allegations. We can't attest to the accuracy or validity of them, but it was important for us to bring it to you guys. Cool, so that's that. I do want to play you this. I'm just scared I'm going to get a copyright strike. And I think I agree with Udi that this Snoop Dogg Eminem thing.
Oh my God, bro. How'd you get that in here? I got the connect. Slam, don't trip. We good. Yo, man. I feel like
I don't want to get a copyright strike, and YouTube will give us a copyright strike for this, but it is the worst thing. Go to Udi Wertheimer's profile. Check it out for yourselves. Let me know what you think. Okay, then this came out on Solana. So we've got Solana's Nakamoto coefficient. Now, the Nakamoto coefficient is how decentralized the blockchain actually is. And what you can see is that Solana is becoming more and more decentralized. The Nakamoto coefficient has gone up by another +1, where most Nakamoto coefficients have actually gone down. So it's getting more and more decentralized. Solana hits a Nakamoto coefficient of 32, the highest we've seen reported yet. for the network with our current calculations. Nakamoto coefficient of 32 is very, 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 very high. So that's really, really good on Solana's point of view. Kujira, which is something that we've been covering, they're starting to get listed on exchanges. So their first exchange is Mexi. I think they're going to be starting to get covered on a lot more exchanges. This is definitely one that I keep my eyes on. Lastly, we've got Tether, which has now blocked 716 USDT addresses, and Circle, which has blocked 82 USDC addresses. Now, the way that this tweet frames it is Tether has now blocked 716 USDT addresses and Circle has blocked 82, kind of alleging that why is Tether complaining or comparing itself to Circle when Circle has blocked so many less addresses? The truth is, what we're seeing here is that they're both centralized stablecoins, and that both of them can block addresses. Whether you block one address or whether you've blocked 82 or 716 doesn't matter. It just shows the problem in the system. And the problem in the system is that for as long as we have centralized stablecoins, they can block addresses. And if they block your address for interacting with Tornado Cash, then there's nothing you can do about it. And that's why we need a decentralized money very, very quickly. No one can block Bitcoin addresses. No one can do that. Not even Car. All right, so that is it for today. In fact, I wonder if I should quickly take a trade to try and redeem my BYBIT portfolio. So this is where, the market's running. Oof. Okay, hold on. Let me quickly log in. And I wonder if El Capo is right. You think Capo may be right? And he's going to go up to 23,500 before we go back down to test the lows.
I mean, it's good. I don't think we'll bounce that high, but it's possible.
You think it's going to be less?
Yeah.
All right, so I think I have some money in this account. If not, I'm in big trouble because I do want to take one more position here. Let me just see if I've got money. I don't know if I have money in this derivatives account.
James will send you some money back.
Oh, wow, did he get double money?
No, I didn't get any.
You haven't been funded yet, Jimmy. It's the end of the competition and you haven't been funded. Yeah, okay, I do have some money here and I do want to take a position. So what I'm going to do here is I want to take a position in the trading competition. You see, I'm trading this not like a trader. I'm trading this like an investor, which is a problem. You can't come to a trader's party and come as an investor. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm opening a long on Uniswap at $6.13. Okay, but you see, I'm doing it like an investor. That's the problem.
I think if you reduce your position size and leverage, you can do that. If it's bit by bit, like 3% each time that you
see, but I'm an investor. I'm not a trader. I don't know how to trade. I don't know how to trade for a 3-week time period. I don't know how to trade in a 3-week time period. That's the problem. I don't know how to. I know how to I know how to trade for longer time periods. I don't know how to long for short time periods. But in the next competition, we'll do another competition. Let me know in the comments if you guys want another competition. Someone just said isolate your trade. I'm about to do that. All right, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. This week is quite interesting because I'm going to the Grand Prix with Sheldon on the weekend. We're going to Holland, the Grand Prix. So if you're going to be in Holland, hola, let us know that you're there so we can have some fun together. You're not coming with us, Carl? But you are coming with us to Singapore at the end of the month, the Singapore Grand Prix.
Singapore?
You are coming, yeah. Your new sponsor is taking you.
Is it?
Yeah, OKX is taking you. Yeah, OKX is taking you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow. That's not funded. That's not fair. But you're still playing or not?